Said I got to say something, baby, hand me the mic. I said I got to say something, better hand me the mic. Somebody hand me a mic. Cause I got to say something, so just hand me a mic. When I need to say something, better hand me the mic. I said I got to say something, better hand me the mic.
Are we on?
We're rolling.
We're on. We're rolling.
We are indeed.
We're people like us now.
We are.
That's what we are.
I know, yeah. It's class, isn't it?
Yeah. So you're the first part 2 guest.
Am I?
You are.
Am I the first?
You were the first guest.
First repeat guest, you say?
Yeah.
I love that.
First guest and first repeat guest.
Thank you.
So
I enjoy that.
I'm going to start this off deep. Right?
Yeah.
We're going in hard.
Are we?
That's what we're doing.
Where are we going, mate?
We're going straight in with brand. So
Russell.
I'm aware that by the time this goes out, some weeks might have passed.
Yeah.
So we're going to give our opinion now. It might age badly because it might turn out that he's a complete fucking rapist. But we're going to take our chances.
Well,
because I have a strong opinion.
yeah, I mean, you fire away then, mate. I have strong opinions on it as well, but I'll let you go first. Because
Okay.
I think we might... I don't usually disagree with much of what you say, but I think we might have some disagreements with regards to Russell Brand. But we'll see.
Yeah. I think you know what I think.
Yeah. I think I've got a good idea what you think.
Yeah. So what do I think?
You want me to guess what you think? I think that you think he's been fitted up by the left-wing media because he's leaning so far to the right these days. He's calling out all the stuff that goes on that we all know. We're having the wool pulled over our eyes. People are lying to us left, right and centre. And he's pointing this out on a big platform and they're going after him. Very similar to what happened to Tate. Very similar to what happens to Trump. They don't want him around. They don't like his voice. They don't like his message. So they want him gone and they're trying to stitch him up. Is what I think you'll think. And I think the same. But I certainly wouldn't rule out Russell Brand being capable of things he's been accused of. Particularly back in the day when he was a massive drug addict. And let's be honest, yeah, the excuses made for Russell Brand, Dan. Such a good-looking guy, why would he need to rape a bird? They're all throwing themselves at him. Horse shit. A man like Russell Brand is in an opportunity to bang a bird. That bird says no. He's that in his own head. I can do what I want. I'm Russell Brand. He'll just bang her anyway. Don't care if she says no. And I would certainly not write off the possibility that he is he was a bit of a bad man.
So, I actually agree with everything that you've said. And I think it's a collection of everything. So, the bit that favours Russell, I'm going to split this in 2 sides. Okay? I am a Russell Brand fan. As a fan, I'm going to be biased, obviously, because I like him.
Yeah.
Have
you always liked him?
Yes.
Have you?
Since E4 days, since Big Brother's Big Mouth.
Yeah,
I liked him then.
I never used to like him.
When he had the big hair.
Yeah, the big hair, the tight jeans, the pointy shoes. I was talking to Courtesy about it earlier.
Yeah.
And you remember the thing he done with Jonathan Ross where he phoned the guy off Fawlty Towers?
His bird.
Left a message about his daughter and just some of the things that he used to do were distasteful. He was too loud for me, too brash, obnoxious as fuck, very misogynistic. And I don't judge people. I just didn't like his vibe. But I did start coming round to Brand when his whole persona's really changed, hasn't it? He's a different guy to what he used to be. He's no longer as brash as he was. I mean, he speaks on a lot of... Sorry, mate. He speaks on a lot of public, like, socialist issues and stuff like that, and he's changed the way he is, and I've come around to him. I do actually like him now. But I didn't back in the day, mate.
No.
Couldn't stand him. Thought he was a dick.
So I don't pretend to be an expert on Russell.
Yeah.
Right? But let me tell you the story So I'm going to tell you the story of Russell, how I see it. Then I'm going to tell you the story of what I think's happened here. And then I'm going to touch on the bit that you touched on about really what Russell is or was.
Yeah.
They all tie in. Russell, from what we've heard in the media, struggled with drugs. Hard drugs. Heroin, all this carry on. Whatever, he rose to fame. He got himself on the telly.
He did.
He got catapulted into stardom. The area he filled within fame, I guess, would be a ladies' man. He was a shagger.
Yeah.
Let's say it as it is. Top basher. That's what he was, right? Top shagger.
He was,
Yeah, I think he became a big sex icon in his own right.
Yeah.
He was, through the stories I've heard on the news, he was, check this out, Southpaw, he was named Shagger of the Year or something.
That was on the documentary, wasn't it?
Yeah, 3 years running. Never heard of that, but he was.
Yeah. Mad what they used to promote back in the day that just would not happen now.
I'm not going to touch on that.
Celebrating that shit.
Let's fast forward a bit. He did some books. He's done some stand-up. Started touching on political aspects a little bit a few years ago.
Yeah.
Filters all the way down. Cutting a long story short, he now has a Rumble platform. And what you've just said is bang right. It seems to be that he's doing 1 hour shows 4 or 5 times a week. The drum he's banging is pretty much we're all getting fucked.
Yeah,
that's
100%.
Whether it be politics, whether it be the pharmaceutical industry, whether it be anything that's going on.
He'll call out any corruption that exists.
Totally. And he makes a good case with he's very intelligent, he's very articulate.
Got a point on that. He is an intelligent guy, but do you not feel like he uses words that nobody else will understand?
Totally.
To sound more intelligent than what he actually is. Just put it in layman's terms for your listeners, because what people have to do with Russell Brand, you've got to pause his shit, you've got to go onto Google the word he's just used, find out what it means, and then go back to the conversation. Otherwise, you don't understand what the man's saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For the most part, you have to just sort of wing it, don't you?
Yeah. You kind of try and figure out where he's going or what he's saying. And
he is one of the only people I've ever seen that'll, within a sentence, use Shakespearean, Edwardian, Victorian language and then mix it with Cockney slang, apple and pears. Do you know what I mean? He'll go blah, 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 and then up the apple and pears. You know, like, that's what he's like, isn't he? Isn't he, though? It's what he does, right? Very clever guy. I think he is intelligent, because
I wouldn't say he isn't.
To use words like that, you've got to have a level of intelligence. I think he's a bright lad. Mate, we ain't using them. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's just because we don't know those words. I mean, it's like Coatsy was saying. He thinks he's got autism or something. He's got like some sort of dyslexia because he struggles with a keyboard and stuff. And that's nothing to do with intelligence. That is not intelligence. Knowing a word, I know loads of fancy words, doesn't make me more intelligent than the next man.
No.
It's because I've read those words in a book or I've read them in a newspaper. So I know the word, I know how to spell the word, but it's nothing to do with intelligence.
So let's bring it back to Russell, right? That's what Russell is, right? We all know his life. It's been well publicised.
Yeah.
Okay, so my opinion, this is all this is, based on no fact other than what I think. Because I am a conspiracy theorist, is what I would be called, I do believe that because of the aggressiveness in which he basically outs, that's what I will call it, outs governments, outs pharmaceutical companies, outs all of this stuff that he's making a point on.
Yeah.
That we're all getting screwed left, right, and centre. Because I actually am in the camp that believes, for the most part, what he's saying.
Yeah.
And looking at his numbers and the speed in which they're growing and the movement, which is what it is, he's now got to the point where this has become a movement.
Yeah.
This is a huge thing. He's one of a few big figures in the world. Andrew Tate being another one. That's a different story, and I don't want to put them in the same category. Other than the fact that they're both getting hunted down by mainstream media. Yeah, and I think, in my opinion, and which is all it is, powers that be, that are bigger than what we know, have decided that he needs to shut up.
100%, mate.
Now, let's go back to what Russell was. Was Russell a misogynist? Yes.
100%.
Did Russell have probably...
his numbers are off the chart, mate.
His numbers are off the chart. Did he have sexual encounters with women that really, probably some of them would have been iffy in that, like, he has a God complex. He believed he was Jesus. He could have who he wants. These were just bodies. He was, you know what I mean? He was just, he was top of the world.
That's what I imagined.
Yeah, I believe that was the case. Do I believe that through what we've heard on this Dispatches thing that we've learned anything new?
No, the Dispatches thing was a load of shite.
Do you know what? I think 95% of it was true.
Yeah,
right.
You could make that argument
Yeah.
that you believe most of it, but it's still a load of shit. It's trial by media.
By media, and I think we have to take into account, as though it's only been 20 years and 10 years and 15 years, but the past 5 years, the change that's gone on to what is acceptable, what isn't acceptable, or more to the point, how much it's not acceptable. Because it's never acceptable. It's never a good thing to be like that. But it's got to the point now where it's really not accepted. And it's turned in such a way that 20 years ago, he was Shagger of the Year for doing these things. Yeah. 20 years, 15 years later.
It's unbelievable.
20, 15 years later, it's the worst thing we've ever done, and he should be cancelled.
100%,
he's a fucking rapist. Crucify him. Do you know what I mean? Electric chair. I believe 95% of what was in that documentary was true. I don't believe he raped anybody. I don't believe he.
I mean, I wouldn't say that I don't believe it. I wouldn't say that I do believe it. I would say that he is capable of raping a woman, and you can use the argument he's so good looking. Women are throwing themselves at him. Come on, mate. He's got a certain bird in a certain situation. That bird says no. He's Russell Brand. I'm fucking you anywhere. I can 100% see that happening. My problem with it is, Dan, that 10, 15 years later, it all gets dragged up on, like, the TV. Like, why didn't this woman go to the police when it happened? Like, scared to go to the police, this, that, and the other. Horse shit. If I get raped, I'm going to the police. Simple as that. There's no two ways about it. I'm going and making a report. No reports were made, and they've made him out, well, to the vast majority of the UK now, and the world, he's a rapist. Most people will have that in their heads. He's a rapist. That's what I think of Russell Brand. He's never been to trial. Nothing's been proven. It's a TV show, a documentary with some women. And the treatment of his personal assistants and stuff like that, I can absolutely believe all of it, because he was up his own arse, wasn't he?
He was up his own arse. He
loved himself.
Yeah.
Probably still does to a degree, but yeah, I mean, the whole thing with it is the trial by media and the reason that it's happened, and the reason that it's happened. If he'd have been a good little boy, sticking to his like comedy and doing this and doing that, and not being on Rumble and Spotify or whatever, and pointing out all this corruption and hypocrisy and just the shadiness behind the world that we don't see, he wouldn't be in this situation now. That programme would never have got made.
That's what I think.
You know what I mean?
That's
what
I think. What I had pointed out to me is, did we, like, through this Dispatches thing, did we learn anything that we didn't know?
Not really.
Because in my bookie book, the book he made, and pretty much ever since, he's kind of told us all that this is what he was
he's
like.
made no secret of it.
He's made no secret of it. He made a book out of it. He made millions out of telling us
the stories,
what he was like.
100%, yeah.
The only bit that's thingy is they're saying that he, like, raped, forced sex with people. That is.
Well, they've only got one person on record saying that, haven't they?
It's not even on record. Record would be the police.
I thought that one woman was, like, the only woman that didn't hide her identity. She's come out and blatantly said, well, yes, I was raped by him. Yeah, she hasn't reported it to the police, but at least she's not hiding behind anonymity like the rest of the people in the programme. Everyone else was anonymous, apart from this one lass who has accused him of rape. But it's easy to go on TV and say, yeah, he raped me 10, 15 years ago. How are you going to prove it? How are you going to disprove it? It's impossible.
It's impossible.
Exactly.
Now it's impossible.
Yeah. So Russell Brand's reputation is tarnished forever. Doesn't matter what he does. Doesn't matter what he says on his Spotify or his Rumble account. There's a vast majority of the world's population that will always believe that he's a rapist.
Can I be honest? I don't think it's gone as much to plan as it would have liked.
Well,
I think when this was orchestrated, I think they imagined more of a
uproar
and a turn against him.
Yeah.
The camps have split, which is what they will have predicted, but I don't think they will have predicted how many people actually are backing him still.
Yeah.
Because a lot are.
Same with Trump, mate.
I know women, females, who were in my life, I'm not going to name them, women that would be very, 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 the big, like, woman power people, big feminists, really big feminists, like any sort of abuse in any way, shape or form, they're no, like, absolutely point blank, that's wrong, that person needs getting. And I know these people. And when this came out, there was two people in my life I really wanted to hear their opinion, because I thought to myself, they're going to back the media, they're going to say he's a wrong'un, he's a bad guy. And I was surprised when I spoke to both of them from different generations. One's my generation, one's 20 years older than me. Both of them basically back Russell.
Did they?
Both of them. And said, no. We see what's happened here. He was a rock star. All these girls would have, oh my God, I've got a chance to sleep with Russell Brand. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. He doesn't love them, it turns out.
That's the question you got to ask yourself as well. These women, or this particular woman that's accusing him of rape, how did she get herself into the situation to be raped? She obviously wanted to be around him.
Of course she did.
She was enjoying herself. She was probably living her best life with Russell Brand, like out at restaurants, this, that and the other. And you know what I mean? It's all right coming out and saying I said no, but if you put yourself into a certain situation, you've got to look at yourself as well, because you put yourself there. You know what I mean? You're in this situation with this high power bloke who can do what he wants. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Particularly if you're not going to report the crime. So, yeah, I mean, I think although viewers of this show will not like this, women have to take a certain amount of responsibility for the situations that they pull themselves in. It's not victim blaming.
No.
It's not like you deserve to be raped.
No.
But at the same time, if you're hanging out with Russell Brand and you're going back to hotel rooms, what do you think that guy wants? You know what I mean? Disappear if you've got no intention of having sex with a guy. Get yourself out of there. Don't go back to hotel rooms or wherever it happened.
Yeah.
Don't put yourself in a position where it could happen. If you've got it in your head, it's not going to happen. But
now, look, I'm going to, people who see this are going to see two blokes sat here, basically backing the bloke.
Yeah.
And I can see how that's going to ruffle feathers. Don't get me wrong. I was raised by women. I hardly know men in my life. Close men. I did have my dad and stuff like that. But I was surrounded by women.
Same, mate.
Wolves. Surrounded by wolves. And I was raised that basically women are always right. And what the message I'm getting here is, no, I back the woman always. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
But I don't know about this. I'm saying listen. I'm not saying that he isn't a rapist, because I don't know.
You can't, can you?
I don't know.
Yeah.
All I can do is give my opinion. That's all it is. And something that 20, 15 years ago, the media and the public were basically, I don't want to use the word praise, but, he was loved for who he was. He was the lovable, charming shagger. That's what he was. He was a lovable, charming shagger. Men wanted to be him, women wanted to be with him. And once upon a time, this was all right. But 20 years later, we're now turning on him and saying that he's now the devil. I don't know, man. It just doesn't seem...
Yeah,
I mean, I've heard his name bandaged around with, like, Jimmy Savile. I've heard it put in the same sentence. Like,
Jimmy Savile was walking around disabled hospitals, fiddling with fucking people that were unwell. You know what I mean? It's not even a comparison. He's not Jimmy Savile. He's just a bloke who had a lot of power and a lot of women around him.
And fame.
And if he's full of fucking whatever drug he might be on, mate, I don't know, he was on the smack, he was on the, like, loads of bad shit, the worst
I think he was off it then, to be fair, mate. I think
exactly. And that's why I'm inclined to believe that he might have done these things, because when a man is off the tits on those kind of substances, who knows what they're capable of, you know what I mean? Who knows?
No, what I mean is, when these accusations... The date of these accusations, he was off the drugs.
Oh, was he?
He's been off the drugs for 20 years now.
Ah, right.
So all of this that's in the news...
So around 2010, 2012 time,
he was well off the drugs. He quit the drugs, from what I understand, in his late 20s, before he got famous.
Ah, right.
When he got on the telly, he wasn't on drugs.
Ah, right, okay.
He was just living...
So you can't use the drugs as an excuse.
No. I mean, the drugs isn't an excuse.
Yeah, he's been sober
I bet he was
since
still fucking...
2003. He's been sober.
Yeah,
since.
so 20 years he's been sober. So all these accusations are when he...
Do you reckon he was on some cocaine in that time?
No, because he flies I mean, he might have done, but he flies the flag that he's been sober for 20 years, that he's 20 years clean. So I'm assuming off the back of that he is.
If he's going to say that, you've got to believe him, aren't you?
Yeah, you got to believe him.
Yeah.
So I'm going with that. Look, I'm sorry if anybody hears this and this is coming across wrong, because any abuse of any woman of any kind or anybody, man or, works both ways.
Of course it does.
It's messed up, man. It's disgusting. And in the year 2023, we should be after everything we've learned through history, we should be in a position now we're not even having these conversations anymore. It's ridiculous that we are, in my opinion. But I'm sorry, but like on this one, I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't see it. That's all I'm saying. I can't see it.
Well, initially, when I heard the story and I've watched the documentary and I've listened to Russell Brand, and in my own head, I think, is he capable of this?
What do you mean by capable?
Is he capable of doing it?
Of raping?
From what I know about Russell Brand, is he capable of forcing himself on a woman? My opinion is he is, because he's like, he thinks he's the boy, mate. There's no getting away from that, particularly back then, mate.
He admits to that.
He'll have thought, I can bang any woman I want whenever I want. And the moment a woman says no to him, he'll be like, what? You're getting it anyway. I can picture that scenario. I can see it. It's not to say that he's a fucking serial rapist that has rape on his mind, but in this particular instance, I can't imagine a bird, or a woman, sorry, who admits her own identity, goes on a show and accuses this guy of rape. Russell Brand could have her for libel if he wanted. Could he not? She's gone on a TV show and accused him of rape, so he could take her to court. She must be pretty confident in what she's saying, Dan, to believe, well, I'm saying the truth, so I'm not worried about what's going to come back at me. And yeah, I mean, just that thing, that side of it. Again, I mean, whether he did it or not, that's not the point, really. The main point is, why is it happening to him? And the reason that it's happened to him is because his message online. Simple as that. There's so many bad men out there that the left will protect. They'll shelter them. They'll put a blanket, like Prince Andrew. Absolute fucking reprobate. But you know what I mean?
Mental, that one, isn't it?
What's happened? Nothing, mate. It's swept under the carpet. It's like, it's yesterday's news. It's mad. The things that go on. I mean, Joe Biden, I'm going off topic, mate, but they protect certain people. They'll protect them, the mainstream media, but they will also vilify other people. And who do they vilify versus who do they protect? You know what I mean? And it's very obvious. If you look at both sides of the argument or look both sides of the aisle, you've got your right wing on this side, they're getting fucked over, and you've got your left wing on the other side, they're getting protected constantly. And that's the problem I have with it. Like, I don't think Panorama should be producing a documentary like that about a man that has never been brought in front of a court of law, ever, and saying he's a rapist and having women on there saying he's a rapist. Anyone could do that. They could do it to me, they could do it to you, they could do it to Courtesy. And there's no turning back from it, you know what I mean? Once it's out there, your reputation is in the mud. Whether you're guilty or innocent, your reputation's fucked through trial by media, which is piss poor in my opinion. Shouldn't be doing it.
You know that situation, or this situation, I just wondered how that would work, right? So you got Mrs. X, right? You know, the one that hasn't hidden her identity,
yeah.
Right? Let's call her Jane, right? You've got Jane.
We've got Jane.
Jane has said this thing, right?
Yeah.
So the question is, what you just said is a good point. Why isn't Russell suing her? Well, it's early days. It's only been out 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Law, solicitors, lawyers take a long time. So for all we know, and by this time this comes out, that might be happening.
Yeah.
But then let's just have a look at that situation. So Jane says X, Russell says, I'm suing you, right? Suing begins, right? Then it wouldn't go nowhere because this lawyer's saying, we're suing you for saying this. But then she could say, but it happened. And it's the same thing as...
Yeah, but it's a question of proof, Dan. If you were going to say something like that, you have to be able to provide evidence.
Yeah, hear me out. But if... So Jane's claiming this, but that can't be proved. So Russell's going to sue her because she said this. So Russell sues her. But it also can't be proved. The same thing. It's just stalemate.
Yeah.
Like, Russell won't be able to win a court case against her, sue her for saying it, because there's no proof whether it did or didn't happen.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, mate. If you're going to say it, you should have the burden of proof. I've said something, it's on me to prove it, and it's not on you to prove that it didn't happen. I've accused you of something, and I've got no evidence or proof that says that you did it. It's not then down to you to provide evidence to me to say, well, there's the reason I didn't do it. It's down to me to provide the evidence to say, there it is.
Well,
You
here's a
did it.
question. Let's just... We've isolated this one situation, which is the Russell thing, because it's big in the media, right?
Yeah.
Let's just forget Russell thing for a minute, right?
Yeah.
Let's imagine all abuses. Let's imagine all claims of rape, right? 99% of them won't have evidence. Unless they were done there and then and they can take DNA and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But so let's just remove them that are like categorical because they've got DNA. Well, for DNA, it has to be a straight away thing. As soon as you've had a shower, it's gone, right? You know what I'm saying? All right. So you're then left with these, unfortunately, it'll be thousands and thousands and thousands of rape claims a year, right? Some of them are historic. What's your feeling on believing the accuser? The accuser, accusee, the person who's making the claim. So let's say you're
The
a
victim.
Cop. You're a copper now, right? A woman walks in your police station. Excuse me, Chris, Officer Chris. 3 weeks ago, I was sexually assaulted by a man. And you say, what do you mean? And she said, well, I went to this guy's house for a date. I had no intention of sleeping with him, right? It was a date. It was a first date. This guy forced me, raped me, and told me if I went to the police, he was going to do XXX. Right. I shit myself. I've gone home, scared to death, didn't dare move. But I've had time to process it and think about it now. I know it's been 3 weeks, but like, he needs to be stopped. He raped me. What are you going to do about it?
Well, I think what the police would do would be take a statement and investigate. But would I believe that woman based on what she's just
That's
said
what I'm
from me?
asking you, yeah.
No.
You wouldn't believe her.
Not automatically. I'm not going to believe something just because I'm told it. I'm going to investigate. If I'm a serious police officer, I'm going to investigate. I'm going to talk to the accused, and I'm going to have conversations, and I'm going to investigate. You can't just have someone come in, make a claim about someone, and the police automatically believe it. That's not a justice system.
No, it's not.
No.
No.
So
But you can imagine.
You can't believe what's told to you simply because it's told to you. You have to, as law enforcement, do the correct investigations and find out for yourself whether it's true or not. And a lot of the time, they can't find whether it's true or not, which is why so many rapes go unpunished. Because, I've had a kid called Mark who I grew up with. He got taken to a court accused of raping a bird in the Dubliners pub. He raped her in the toilet, she said. She was full of fucking coke and she said she was passing out on the top. She was lying. Got threw out.
Right.
He walked away, but he's still got that reputation, his name and photo on the front page of the Gazette. Oh shit, I'm using your full name, Mark. Sorry, bro.
We'll bleep that out, won't we?
Yeah.
We'll bleep that out.
But, yeah, I mean, I've got another a mate of mine. I mean, it sounds like I knock about a rapist. I don't, but one of my mates has just been sent down for 8 years for rape, and I live with this man, and he had very much like Russell Brand. He's a black guy. He's Jamaican. He's got a great accent. He's good looking. Always had a fucking pocket full of coke. He's been sent down for 8 years because 2 birds accused him of rape. Only one of them he was found guilty for. The other one got threw out. But 8 years for rape. For a bird who says that she was asleep when he was fucking her. She woke up and told him to stop and he stopped. 8 years for that.
It's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
it
difficult.
really is. It really is.
Southport, how many... let's have a look at this number, just in the UK, right? And you can imagine in the US it's more. How many claims of rape are made each year that don't lead to prosecution? Yeah. Because this number will be big.
Huge.
This will be big. And what we know is, right, and we could probably say this with confidence. So it's saying here, what's it say? For victims reporting rape, it's effectively a lottery, and the odds are rarely in your favour. In the year to December 2021, there were 67,000 rape offences recorded, an all-time high. Yet number of completed rape prosecutions plummeted to 5,000.
It's off it, that. December 2021, that was COVID time, wasn't it? And that's
2020 was main COVID.
Right, we weren't in lockdown in 2021,
No,
were
I think
we?
we come out.
No, yeah.
But what I'm getting at is, right,
That's a massive percentage that are just going completely unpunished.
and what we do, we could probably bet our bottom dollar that a vast, a large chunk of them, or certainly a chunk of them, were legitimate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would imagine somewhere in the region
Rapes,
of 50 to 70% would be legitimate, unless there's loads of women out there that just like accusing men of rape, which is really fucked up. But there are women out there that are like that, mate.
Do you know, it's a very awful thing to talk about, but do you know, I suppose if there's an individual, right, and he's been accused a couple of times by a few different people, there's a pattern
Yeah.
in there. You've got to start thinking, hang on a minute, like these girls don't know each other, right? And this same guy, because it's unlucky to be wrongly accused once. That's unlucky.
Yeah.
If you're getting wrongly accused a couple of
2-3
times,
times, it's...
you've probably got a
Alarm
rapist.
bells
You've
are
probably got a
ringing,
rapist.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? He's probably a rapist.
Yeah, he's rapey as fuck.
But the very stabby. But you've got a few first one hitter quitters. Let's call them first time offenders.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who do it just once. That'll be a chunk of them. That'll be the vast majority of them.
Yeah.
It's difficult, innit? Because what we can definitely say is there is a large, probably thousands of genuine rapes that are going on each year, just in our country, never mind the world, that are going on each year. The girls are rightfully trying to press charges against these men who've done these heinous things to them, and the men are getting away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad.
It's difficult, innit?
Yeah.
It's difficult, but then there's
I
also...
think a lot of rapes as well are when people are cohabiting. So, boyfriend and girlfriend, and the boyfriend wants his peace, girlfriend's saying no, he fucks her anyway.
Oh,
and
God.
That's a lot of it. A big percentage of the rapes are like that. You know, it's the person
Really?
you're with or someone you know. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not a stranger. I would imagine so. I would imagine that the figures on the amount of people that are raped within a relationship is higher than the people that aren't. I would say it's probably 60-40.
My bet would be that it's mainly one-night stands.
You reckon?
That's what I think. That would be my guess. I don't know. I'm not statistics.
I mean, I haven't done the research, but I just imagine that there'll be a lot of...
I think 90% of them are alcohol-induced.
Yeah.
I think so. Southpaw, let's have a look at the statistic. Johnny's going to play a war, because every time we do a thing on the screen, it's a chew on for Johnny to edit. So, sorry, Johnny, just saying.
Well, he makes the developers' lives chew, so let's make Johnny's life chew. Search away, Coatsy.
Is that your way? Let's go, Southpaw. How many are alcohol-related? That's what I want to know. How many rapes in the UK have
Intimate partner, 46%. I'll rest my case.
Oofed.
Yeah.
I'm just going to the toilet, boys.
Pisses in that.
Yeah, I need a cheeky piss. Like 4 blue dogs.
Go on then. So how many have alcohol in them, Southpaw?
Almost 4 out of 10, so 39% of victims
Is that all?
of rape or attempted rape in England and Wales believed the offender had been drinking.
Well, no, okay, it's not the offender, the victim. That's what I'm interested in.
Right.
The victim. How many rape victims are under the influence of alcohol?
It's
We're
giving
getting the same
answer,
statistic.
yeah.
Well, we'll look. We don't have to get the exacts and stuff, but I think what we can definitely take to the bank is that a lot of them are, they'll certainly have alcohol related. We've just
Percentage of drunk people that were doing it.
well, was it wrong?
Almost 4 out of 10, so 39% of...
But that doesn't necessarily, just because the piss doesn't necessarily mean it wasn't with an intimate partner still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you could get drunk, your partner says no, she's getting it anyway, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, I want some, that kind of thing.
Yeah, this is it. Look, it's an awful thing to talk about. I'm sorry to put it on people like us. We're supposed to be a light-hearted show, but
Yeah.
I think it needs talking about. And to be honest, I think it does need light shining on it because it works both ways. There'll be a lot of women and men, it can work. I know it's obviously a lot less. Mainly is women that get raped.
Are the victims of sexual assault?
Sexual assault, yeah. But there'll be a lot of women or people, his, hers, she, it, whatever you call them now, that will be genuinely sexually assaulted in some way, shape, or form,
and
and they're not getting away with it.
Yeah,
but on the same note, there'll be a lot of
guys out there that didn't commit rape that'll be spending time inside, mate. I guarantee you there'll be a shitload of them.
You don't have to guarantee me. I know.
One of my mates is spending time, and I do not believe it for a second. I live with him.
It's very difficult, isn't it? It's a very difficult.
It's easier for me to stand up for my mate than it is for me to stand up for Russell Brand, because I lived with this man for 2.5 years. I got to see how he rolled. He'd never been disrespectful to a woman in the entirety of me knowing him. Like, never. Not once. And I can't believe it. I really can't. But with Brand, I hate to say it, I can believe it. I can believe it. Still doesn't make it right what's gone on. Like, if he is a rapist, go down the correct channels, report it to the police, have him in court, let him have his day. But don't go onto a TV programme and ruin someone's reputation.
He's, Russell, with the life that he has publicly told us he had, he was an ideal candidate to bring up. He's not the only person who's very famous, who's lived a life like this.
He definitely isn't.
I mean, there's a lot of them.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, I feel wrong naming them, but if we wanted to, and people could Google this themselves.
Well, DiCaprio's a top shagger. We all know that. He never dates a bird that's older than 24, 25, does he? He's like, he's top boy.
And there'll be hundreds, if not thousands, of famous, wealthy people that have lived the same or more advanced versions of the life Russell's lived.
Yeah.
And they ain't getting pulled up. And you can't...
Well, they've got Weinstein's Black Book, mate, with all the names in.
And we ain't seen
not a single person has been prosecuted. They'll protect them till, like, the earth ends.
It's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult. And, you can see both sides
of it. The one thing we do know, Dan, is that the reason this has happened is because mainstream media want Russell Brand off platform. That's why it's happened.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like. I don't know if that is the case, and just because this is going on YouTube, so I would like to say that we don't believe anything. We're just giving two sides of an argument, let's just say.
We don't have any facts, do we?
No, we don't have any facts. This is just stuff we've heard on the internet. We're just regurgitating things that we've heard.
But I'll say this as well. I came around to Russell Brand because I had a real dislike for him. I just did not like him at all. Him and his mate, Noel Fielding. Couldn't stand him either. Do you know him?
I'm a big fan.
Not my cup of tea, those two at all.
Have you never watched the
Moon thing? What's it called?
No, I can't believe I forgot. It used to be my favourite TV show.
Oh, it was so
What was Russell Brand's show called? I mean, Noel Fielding's show, man. It was brilliant.
Something about moons.
The Mighty Boosh. The Mighty Boosh. God.
It was the stupidest courtesy.
It was brilliant.
I swear down, mate.
Top
it's
shop.
one of the worst shows I have ever entertained. I think I spent one night, half an hour, listening to this. Just nonsense, mate. That's what it is. It's nonsense. It's not even a TV show, mate. How the fuck it made it onto TV in the first place is a mystery to me. Who signed off on The Mighty Boosh?
What was it about?
Oh, Dan, what was it? Excuse me. What was it about, bro?
So the Mighty Boosh was two men. Noel Fielding was one of them. I forget the other chap's name. Noel being the real star. It was a sketch show, basically, but it was no, I wouldn't call it a sketch show. It was weird and wonderful, cult-like.
So basically,
comedy.
you can't explain what it was about because it wasn't about anything courtesy.
It was nonsense.
It was two random guys doing the most weird shit. Like, honestly, it wasn't even a TV show, mate.
It was hilarious.
Get off my screen. Ever want to see that again? My eyes were bleeding after watching it.
Back in the day of...
Plus, he's like a really weird-looking thing, that Noel Fielding, isn't he?
Yeah.
Look at that. He's another one. Proper lady killer, apparently. But he's like the tight jeans, the pointy shoes. Him and Russell Brand, best mates. 10 out of 10, 8 out of 10 cats, all that carry on. Christmas quiz. I just couldn't get down with him.
He's a scary looking. I just wasn't a fan. He's a scary looking bloke.
He is a scary looking bloke.
You wouldn't see him down a back alley, would you?
But I challenge you to get through one episode of Mighty Boosh without turning it off, mate.
I
Just
don't
when
think
you're at
I-
home, stick the Mighty Boosh on, get through one, and tell me what you think. Hiff, mate. Absolutely shite.
Back in the day, in the old marijuana smoking days,
Yeah.
there was nothing better I liked
The
than
Mighty
smoking up and watching not just episodes, season after season of these people. Hilarious. Old Greg, who drinks Baileys from a shoe. You know, there was the crack fox. The characters are brilliant. There was the moon, the crack fox. He was excellent. So good, man. So good. It was great.
I suppose it's what tickles your fancy, and it's just it was too random for me, mate.
Oh,
Thank
it was
you.
hilarious. No, it was hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, that's an opinion.
What was your show choice? Or what is your show choice? What tickles
I
you?
don't really watch telly nowadays. What makes me laugh? Stuff like The Office USA. Light-hearted comedy makes me laugh. I don't want out serious. I don't want out that I have to think about. I certainly don't need no sets with mountains behind me and a moon and these randomers dressed as fucking weirdos chatting nonsense. The sentences that they're having, and I'm like, how is this funny? How is it supposed? It's funny because it isn't. That's the only way it's funny. Like, this is fucked up, the Mighty Boosh. But yeah,
brilliant.
I don't really watch it. But The Office USA, if you've never watched it, outstanding comedy. Outstanding.
I've watched the English one.
Yeah, the English one's more satire. This is pure comedy, this. The American one with Steve Carell and
I never watched it.
the guy who plays Dwight. The guy who plays Dwight, honestly, I forget his name now. I think he's called Raim something. Oh, something Rain. Anyway, he's fucking hilarious, mate. So funny, so dry. Him. He's probably the best character on telly, him, Dwight. Funny as fuck, man.
What?
Rainn Wilson, that's him, yeah.
You seen them both, Southpaw?
Yeah, I've seen them both.
Which one you think's the best?
I think if you're big into your English humour, like very witty and like quick stuff, that's obviously The Office UK. But I think, as Chris says, general comedy overall, like the humour in it, I absolutely love The
He's
Office.
There's no wit or anything in the English one. The
Oh,
English,
there is.
It's not witty. He's trying to be the biggest, horrible slime ball, worst boss on the planet, and he does a really good job of it. He's not trying to be funny in any way, shape, or form. He is trying to be cringe.
He makes your skin crawl.
You're watching it like, Nicky.
Yeah, have you ever seen a film? I'll tell you a film, and if you haven't seen it, I urge you to watch it. It's the only film that's ever done this to me, right? And I put it to you, I put it to the people watching this. If you have watched it, you'll know what I mean. If you haven't watched it, watch it. It's called The King of Comedy.
All right.
And it is Robert De Niro. Now, I know you're listening now because you think, Robert De Niro, he's arguably one of the best actors on the planet.
Who can be very, very funny, by the way.
Right. This ain't funny. This is, you think it's going to be funny. You watch this and it is, you know when someone acts so well.
What, is it a biography? It's about a real life person, is it? Or?
I don't know if it's real, but he acts a part in such a way. Do you know where you're like, ooh, like, and it like, you're literally cringing, like, and it like makes you like, I don't know what he does. He plays this part. People who know about films and acting could tell you. He manages to do something with this character, and when you're watching it, you'll feel something you've not felt before. Do you know Taxi Driver did it a little bit? Do you know what I mean? When Robert De Niro plays one of them parts, it isn't just, this is a funny guy, this is a scary guy. There's something more when Robert De Niro does some of these parts. Taxi Driver being one, and this being another.
So he's a failure, but he's a celebrity in his own mind, hosting in an imaginary talk show in his mother's basement.
Mad, mate. Mad film. Listen, take my word for it. Take 2 hours out of your life one day and watch The King of Comedy.
I'll give that a blast, mate. 100% Martin Scorsese involved. Of course I will.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You hear these names, you think, hang on a minute.
See, I've never actually heard of that film.
No, I hadn't. And somebody said this to me. Somebody said, you need to watch this because this is going to do something to you that other films haven't done. But when you see Scorsese and you see the big man, De Niro, as a lead role, you're thinking, there's something in this.
Oh, 100%.
They don't
It's got to
mess
be a
up.
good movie.
Yeah. Go and watch it.
Yeah, well.
Google, see if somebody on Google knows like a proper way to put it. what's the character doing? How would you say that? Like, okay, so go on, I'll put
Well, he's saying he's convinced that it will provide a big break. Obviously, hosting.
Yeah, that's the storyline. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for
the method he's using when he's acting, and make you feel the way that you're feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, you'd need some sort of degree on that shit
Yeah, I think so.
to understand the ins and outs of it. I mean, Reese would probably be the person to ask, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
You know, explain it in
He'd
a better
tell you
way
what's
than
going
most
on.
people. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. There's something strange about this character and how he plays it. Watch it.
It makes you a little bit uneasy.
Very, very. It's very clever. Very, very clever.
Although you're watching a film, you feel like that's a real fucking person.
You feel
and he's
uncomfortable.
fucking off it,
You
isn't
feel
he?
uncomfortable.
Sounds a bit like Joker.
A
Joker's
bit.
a really good film.
Yeah, Joker's incredible.
He's classing that
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, it's
I'll give you.
phenomenal.
I'm not normally a fan of all that nonsense, but I will admit I watched the Joker and I remember thinking
It's not your normal superhero movie, though, is it?
Like,
it's a really good film. That
exceptional acting. Like,
yeah, he's
wow.
really good. In it. He is good. I love it when he shoots the people on the bus, on the train. No, they're giving
Yeah,
some woman
yeah,
shit,
I know,
aren't they? He
I
just
know.
pulls his gun out. Fuck you, blow him
Yeah,
away.
it's
I
class.
You know
Like,
the scene when he's like dancing up and down the stairs. This scene.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
crazy.
it was terrifying a bit to
Wow.
watch. It was just
Yeah, you
like-
don't know whether you're scared. You don't know if you're relating to him. You don't know what's going on.
I mean, the vast majority of the film, you just end up feeling sorry for him, don't you?
A
His
little
life's
bit.
a bit shit.
Yeah.
Nobody likes him. His mother's horrible to him. And
Yeah. It's
Robert
mad,
De
isn't it?
Niro got a harsh do in the end, didn't he?
What happened to Robert De Niro?
He shot him on live
Yeah.
air. Just fucking blew him away as he was
That
on the
was
talk show, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Shot him at the end.
Do you know, in my head, I thought that's what happened in the King of Comedy. It wasn't. That was Joker, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Huh. That might
Yeah.
have happened in King of Comedy too.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not.
Because they do seem like very similar type of storylines,
They do,
don't
yeah.
they? I found it a bit strange that De Niro's.
I
in
went to
both.
go and watch Joker in one of them. You know, when you go in your car and you watch it.
Oh, yeah.
On a big screen. I went with my sister and one of my mates, and it was absolutely shit scary watching it in that sort of environment because it was pitch black, other people around you, like
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
wardens walking
Someone
up and
under your
down
car
checking.
and-
Oh, it was awful, mate.
I
I'd
never
had
been
a
in
couple
anything
of
like that
pints
before.
as
No,
well.
I
and
haven't. I've never been to an open air cinema.
Where did you do that, Tova?
That was at Darlington, the Malden
They
Stadium.
set one up, didn't they?
Yeah, they set
did.
one up.
They
there.
set one up
I don't
ages
know
ago.
whether it was just when we came out of lockdown.
Yeah,
the first
it would've been
lockdown
during
because
that
it was,
period, wasn't it?
It was 2019 that this came out, and I remember just like I think I'd been at the pub because we just came out of the lockdown. Then I'd been at the pub and I was meant to go and watch this with my sister. I'd had 3 or 4 pints, and I just remember being so uneasy the whole time being in that environment.
Yeah, it is.
Question on them. Like, you know, obviously it's an American thing, right? This goes back from the 1950s. People in
Yeah.
like grease lightning type cars, you know, convertible, hot climate.
Cadillacs and that.
How does that work in England in the cold in one of our little hatchback cars with a roof? How do you hear it?
Also,
They'll give
the-
you headphones, won't they?
No, they didn't work it like that. There's a frequency in that area, and you switch
Attach it to the
switch
radio.
your car radio to that frequency.
Never? That's quite clever.
Yeah.
Never,
so
Trevor?
yeah,
Huh.
it was really clever how they did that actually.
Hey, do you know that there in itself? What a time to be alive that must have been. Like 19,
Back in the 60s and
1950s
70s and
in
that.
America and that. What
Beauty,
a life!
mate.
What a life!
Miles better than nowadays.
Oh yeah.
They lived a better life than we do. That's for sure. More simplistic as well. The simpler you make life for human beings, the more happy they'll be, I believe.
I listened to a guy, right? I tell you, looking at this South Park, 'cause I think this is true. So, I listened to, again, I'm going to look like a proper weirdo here. I listened to a guy, he's an author. He's called Bill Bryson.
All right.
He's a travel author. One of the books he does, again, if you're into books or audiobooks,
I like a book.
You need to give this a listen because it's great. He does a lot of travel writing, but he does one book, which is his memoir, like his recollection of being a kid.
Yeah.
And it's called something about like Thunderbird Kid.
Thunderbolt Kid.
Thunderbolt Kid, that's him, right. So what he talks about is he grew up in middle America,
Yeah.
the Midwest, Iowa,
Ideal.
Iowa or somewhere, in the 1950s. That's when he grew up. And he says that in the night, what happened is it was a point in time. So some, again, this is coming from a real, divvy's point of view, but help me out with this. Basically, Second World War happened, right? Everyone was fucked. No one had no money. Depression left, right, and centre.
Rations a lot.
Proper chew. But America, the USA, didn't.
Yeah.
America had a different time. basically through the 1950s, America had the richest time it had ever had. I think everybody was buying stuff off America.
Yeah.
I think everybody else was messed up, but America wasn't. And there was a point in time through the 50s and through the 60s where he talks about that, like, everybody was rich. Like, there was no, like, really, his memory, everybody was really well off.
Yeah.
And life was, like, unlike any other time.
Yeah.
You know, soon the rest of the world caught up and goods started being made in different countries, so that changed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there was a time in America, I'm sure it was the 1950s, 1960s, where it had an economic boom.
100%.
And the time to be there, everybody had a big house. Everybody had what was the latest mod cons, like fridge freezers and microwaves.
Telly.
And, yeah, 2 cars, loads of cash, happy, long summers, baseball. You can picture it, can't
Yeah.
you? This sort of stuff. Soda streams. You know what I'm saying, mate.
I do.
Like Happy Days.
Yeah.
Is it Happy Days?
Happy Days.
Was that thing?
The Waltons, that
what
kind
was-
of shit.
What was that thing with the kid? The kid?
Kid?
There used to be a show where a kid narrated it.
Was he a doctor?
No.
The Wonder Years.
Wonder Years. What a, that was awesome.
That was really
you
good.
won't know what
yeah.
we're talking about.
You won't have a clue.
Oh, the Wonder Years.
The Wonder Years every Sunday
How-
about 4 or 5 o'clock.
Mate,
Get up.
I'll tell you this now. If you could get hold of that box set and start it from the beginning.
Yeah, that's it.
That is, do you know what that is?
No, that's the new Wonder Years. That's also really good on Netflix, but that's the one that me and Dan watched.
This warms your heart. It warms your
Where's
heart.
his girlfriend? I need to see his girlfriend.
There
Wonder
she
Years
is there.
girlfriend.
There,
Where is
up.
she?
Top left, Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh man, I used to have such a
Never.
crush on that bird, me. I thought she was the best looking thing I'd ever seen.
Never.
You know, 9, 10-year-old, how
Yeah.
beautiful is she, her on the telly?
This program.
She's gorgeous, like, to be fair.
How many? How many
Him as well, him with the glasses there.
Yeah.
Scroll down a bit, Coates. Yeah, him. That guy there.
This was good. wasn't it?
Legend. Yeah.
And
a
what
show.
happened is, throughout it, this kid was acting, but a man narrated it as him when he was older. It was like he was telling a story, right?
Yeah,
From when he was younger.
Yeah, yeah.
That was set in the 1950s and shit, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah. Have a look at
60s, 70s, look.
that. Was it 60s and 70s?
Class family in the middle class family, late 60s, early 70s. But that was
Similar
a great
thing.
time to be alive in America. Absolutely superb.
Looked good, didn't it?
Yeah, it looked really good.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not so good now, like.
No, I mean, it's not my place to say it. I'm not American, don't live in America, only been once when I was a kid. But it sounds fucked.
I mean, this
sounds
is,
shut to
this is
bits.
funny because I involve myself with a lot of conversations on YouTube. I get into a lot of debates.
Argues and that.
Not really arguments, just conversations.
Like what? With who?
Americans mainly.
Really?
Like, if you say something positive about America, you'll get Americans coming on telling you how shit America is.
Right.
Yeah? But if you say something negative about America, you'll get all the Americans coming on defending how good America is. Like, you can't win with them. They're very strange. If you say something good, nah, we're shit, what you on about? If you say something bad, what you talking about, you English fool? You from the UK, you've got no freedom of speech. Like, I say what the fuck I want, mate, all right?
Is it not the case that we do have freedom of speech and they don't?
No, it is a fact that people have been arrested for things they've put on Twitter and stuff like that in the UK. It has happened. Like a woman got arrested for something she put on Twitter about COVID, shit like that. And when you start doing that to people, that is taking away your freedom of speech.
That's here or America?
That's here.
Is it?
Yeah, yeah.
So they don't do that in America?
They also do it in America, yeah. Like, I've seen FBI raids for tweets and stuff like that.
Really?
But it's
Wow.
not like, I don't know the ins and outs. I listen to a lot of Stephen Crowder, and he argues that the likes of Germany, UK, France are much worse off than America are, simply because all our free speech has been, there's like things that are legislative now, that if you say a certain thing, you can be punished in a court of law for saying it, you know what I mean? Whereas in America, that doesn't really exist. You've still got the amendments, you know, all the amendments, so you can fight anything in a court of law. They might come and arrest you, but if you've got a good lawyer, they'll argue your way out of it. Whereas in England, you can actually be prosecuted for things you've said.
I think I've heard that about Germany.
Yeah,
I think I've heard
Germany,
something
definitely, yeah.
That there's something about that they have to watch what they say.
Yeah.
That you're not allowed to put certain things on social
Well, we
media.
have to watch what we say. You can't be racist online.
No, but I think Germany's a bit worse than us. I think from what
a
I've
bit
heard.
stricter. Yeah, probably. I don't know the ins and outs. As I say, I just listen. But
Thou shalt not talk bad.
I do have a lot of conversations with American people, and when you get on a level with them, they're openly admit that the country is in a shit state, like proper bad,
Seems
terrible.
it. Do you remember, Chris, when you were a kid? Because I certainly did. That when you were a kid, 9, 10, 11, 12, you wanted to live in America.
Oh, I was desperate.
Me too.
We were going to.
Were you?
Yeah, my dad was going to go out there.
And work?
Yeah.
Never.
Swear down, when I was 14,
How
I
close
told
did
him
you
not
get?
to. I cried my eyes out. I didn't want to go. I had a girlfriend, I had loads of mates, football team. Did not want to go. I was proper devastated. And they just brought it off. Oh, well, we won't go. He doesn't want to.
So
I could have, potentially. They were looking at getting a green card, I think it was called back in the day.
yeah, green cards, yeah.
Yeah, they went deep on it.
Never.
Yeah, and then they put it to me, and I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Wouldn't dare." Could have lived in Orlando, mate.
Is that where you were
Tampa
thinking?
or somewhere like that. They wanted to move to Florida, yeah. And he wanted to just be a self-employed joiner, and I'd have had a miles better life. I've got no doubt about it. I would have had a far better life in America than the one I've had in England. But yeah, I didn't want to go, so we didn't.
You say that, but
But there was a time when I was younger than that, before I had a girlfriend, before I was sucked into my own life. You know, when you get 14, 15, you've developed your own life.
all changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you're 11, 12, I'd have loved to have gone, me. I never wanted to come home. Every time we went on holiday there, I just wanted to stay. You know, it's such an amazing place. But yeah, it's changed massively, America. It's not the same place anymore.
Certainly the feelings I had when I was a kid, I don't know if it's changed. I don't know enough about America, but certainly how I romanticized life in America when I was a kid, I certainly don't think that now.
No.
I shit myself, I'll be honest. When I think about living in America now, it just frightens me. It frightens me that two things, not just the guns. It used to, I think it changed me about 10 years ago where I started realizing, hang on a minute, what? So everybody's got a gun? Like that started puzzling me, and I was like, huh. So like, I've been in a bad temper before. I've lost my temper. But then there's another side to it, which is, again, people like Russell have brought it to my attention as well. That, hang on a minute, like, you can, unless you got money, like, you can get proper fucked. Like, you can just get shot in jail and, like, see you in a bit.
In America?
Yeah.
In what sense?
It seems like the justice system's a bit different to ours. Like, okay, if you've got loads of money and you can afford good lawyers, you can fight things. But it seems to me that, I think maybe, I've watched a lot of these Innocent Files and a lot of shit like this where it just seems that, like, it seems easier to end up in prison, in jail over there. Like, I don't know, I'm a bit scared of, like, I'm going to say it, I'm a bit scared of the American government. A bit frightened of them. Like
This
FBI.
current American government, 100%. Weirdos.
I feel like over there you have to, like, do as you're told. And you have to say, like, say what you're told to say. And, like, you better shut up. Or... No?
I watch too much American shit there. I mean, I watch guys that talk to the police. They'll get pulled over on a traffic stop. Just talk to the police like shit.
I've
Do
seen
one.
that. I've
See you in a
seen that.
bit. Wouldn't dare. You not get my ID. I'm not saying a word. Go away. You wouldn't get away with that in the UK. If I talk to a cop like that, rag me about. Take me down the station. I've had it. I've been in those situations where I've back-chatted to a copper and they've got zero tolerance for it.
Do you not think that's that's maybe a cultural thing? What I mean by that is the American, as a rule, and I'm not thinking everybody, but as a rule, Americans are more boisterous. They are more, louder and more, like, brash and more thingy.
Oh, well, that's definitely the case,
We're
yeah.
quite a reserved culture as compared to them.
You were seeing Brits abroad, bro. We're fucking mental.
Not tarnish everybody. Not tarnishing everybody.
Yeah.
But we're more quieter than them.
I think there's a respectable element of the UK from a bygone era that, oh, yes, jolly good, you've just hit my car, I hope you're okay, that kind of stuff.
As a rule.
That's slowly being weeded out
Slowly.
in the UK. Of course
Yeah.
it is. There's more and more, let's say, what's the word I'm looking for? The lower class are breeding a lot more. So there's a lot more lower class people. They are knocking out kids everywhere, aren't there? There's rats everywhere, mate. It's like fucking hell, fending them off. Brutal. You go down Stockton-on-Tees, High Street, mate. Fuck that.
No.
Shambles, mate. It's like walking through 28 days later. It's like, no. What the fuck? 20 pair? Oh, my God. No, bro. Don't look at me. Don't breathe on me. Don't come close to me. Like, fuck that. English society's gone right downhill as well, mate. It's not like our grandma's era. They grew up in you could leave your door unlocked. Your neighbour was your best mate. Everyone looked after each other. You need some milk. You need some. I never fucking spoke to my neighbour. The only time I've ever spoke to him when he's having a do with his missus and I can hear it at 2 a.m. I'm saying, shut the fuck up. That's the only conversation I've ever had with him. Like, we've changed. Culturally, England has changed massively. Like, your neighbour was your family, your brother, this, that and the other, whatever. Like, everyone looked after each other. That's gone, mate. That no longer exists in the UK.
Do you know?
There's no community.
Funny you just mentioned that. You know, we were just talking about the American life in the 1950s.
Yeah.
The whole Grease lightning type thing and
Yeah.
that amazing looking lifestyle. Ours looked a bit shit, didn't it?
Oh,
It was like the land of beige, wasn't it?
You got 7-year-olds wearing flat caps and they've got the thumbs in the waistcoat
mate.
pockets and that, and it's just
The
like
1950s
teeth falling out and shit.
1950s in England looked
Rough
dire.
as toast, mate.
Dire. It looked cold, dirty, poverty, disease.
Terraces, cobbled streets. Oh, just
I mean,
great.
that's American. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the image you get in 1950s England.
Disgusting.
Just looks rotten, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks rotten. Everyone looks ill.
I mean, look at this.
Look at the
kid
fringe.
front.
Look at the fringe.
Look at all the flat caps. Okay, now
That's
help
been
us out.
Yeah. I don't fancy it This isn't Grease
Have you
lightning.
seen, Courtesy, see if you can pull up that video from 1901 in London. It's one of the first videos ever taken, and these kids are looking at this guy recording. He's obviously doing this with his camera, and they're all stood there like, I think it was on a Joe Rogan episode actually, but yeah, that one beneath it, 60 FPS labourers in Victorian England.
What, is this real, is it?
Yeah, this is an actual video from 1901 in the UK, mate.
All right.
They just look off it. The people, they're like,
Look at that posture.
don't they just look fucking... It's just mad, isn't it? The way they used to live. Seeing this kid's face here on the left-hand side, he's covered in soot or whatever. He's obviously been cleaning chimneys or some shit.
I think this is surely next to a mine.
Oh, God. Everyone looks so sick.
Don't they?
They look poorly.
They look inbred as well, don't you think? They've all got weird faces and like...
Well,
like
look, for the most
He
part-
looks all right, that guy there, like...
For the most part, people were really undernourished. There
Yeah,
wasn't
that's
vitamins.
true. Yeah,
Look at the
yeah.
size of that horse.
You weren't having a healthy
Not eating
diet.
properly, then... Like, yeah.
You were just eating
Look at this thing here. I mean, what is that? Who is that?
I knew what you meant, Chris.
he looks very,
He just looks
very
rad,
poorly.
doesn't he? He looks like the penguin or something.
Look at the... Oh, no.
God, this is crazy.
It is, it's rad.
there, look at that one there, look at her there, what's wrong with her?
Exorcist.
Oh my God, what's happened to her eyes?
Well, no, I think you've got to remember this is a camera in 1901.
It's
so
60 FPS, mate. What are you talking about?
That's frames per second.
No, what I'll say is,
Yeah, it's a guy stood there winding a camera like this.
look at the legs on this fella. He's had it as well. They see, there's just disease, mate.
Yeah, they just...
Disease.
Everyone looks like they've got jaundice.
Everybody's sick. Everybody's poorly.
They're not very well, mate.
No, they're not very well. What was life expectancy in 1901, boss man?
I bet it wasn't over 40. 45,
No, I think
maybe
you're talking,
tops.
I think you're talking 60s.
No, mate, it's not a chance.
No. I think in Liverpool in the 1800s it was like 25.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's in the 20s, but I will. It definitely isn't any higher than 40.
But you know
I
what?
would've
This
said.
statistic will be messed up. Do you know why? Because I'll be counting how many people died at childbirth. So that's going to mess the statistic up. This probably won't be a true thing. 44 and 48.
Yeah.
But this ain't really it because, back in 1901, about 3/4 of babies that were born died at birth. Do you
Yeah,
know what I
exactly,
mean?
yeah.
So this statistic's messed up.
Yeah.
A lot of people will have... That's what's going to be part
Loads
of that
of
statistic.
mothers will have died giving birth as well.
Yeah. But when you see a statistic like that, like 44 and 48, that's not really a true reflection.
No, that's probably people that have actually made it through birth.
Yeah,
And
if you take out everybody that died at birth and just looked at what's left, I
Yeah.
bet people were living longer than 40 odd.
yeah.
There maybe, but I bet 60 and 70 you were very lucky.
It's the medicine that wasn't available back then. You know,
Yeah.
if you got something back then, you were fucked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You were going to die.
Yeah, there was no-
Simple
that
as
was
that.
it.
She's got the flu. Oh, she's fucked.
Do you know what? Even in today's world, right, people who live unhealthy lives, right, we have clean water. They didn't have that then. Yeah, we're having but we have a lot of sugars.
Yeah.
They didn't have that then. It keeps you going, really.
Yeah.
Even a bad diet nowadays, if you're eating takeaways every day, you're still getting salad from the takeaway. There's onions and that in there. There's things that, like, do you know what I'm saying? These people are eating,
Mackie D's onion.
like, what were these eating? Like, they were just eating, like, bread, weren't they?
I imagine there were, mate. I imagine a lot of it was bread.
There wouldn't be a lot of meat, not healthy meat.
Like a lot of stuff that was cooked in hot water type stuff.
Broths.
Yeah, a lot of broths.
But I bet there wasn't a lot of meat.
Well, there was
spuds.
I mean, my dad used to tell me stories, and I don't know how true this is, but he used to have to sing for his dinner or his tea, he's like, he's saying to me, "You fucking wasted that pork chop there, Christopher. Do you know I used to have to sing for fucking jam and bread, son? Can I have some jam and bread? Jam and bread." He's telling. Big Bob's telling me this story while I've wasted a pork chop. He's like, "Get that fucking out, or you're not getting any dessert." I used to get a fucking orange in a sock for Christmas.
I've heard that. My granddad called it
Orange in a sock.
He said a orange. It was a orange. That's what my granddad called it.
I was lucky. I got a
orange.
tangerine, easy peeler.
Easy peeler. Singing.
Can I have some jam and bread?
Did he sing you the song?
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, fucking right, he did.
Sing it again.
Can I have some jam and bread? Jam and bread, jam and bread. Can I have some jam and bread? Please, my mother. You've got to imagine it's bullshit. I can't imagine her making her kids, 14 of them she had.
14 kids?
15. My dad had 14 brothers and sisters. In fact, he had 2 brothers, 12 sisters.
How old your dad?
He is about 64. 57 he was born.
15 of them?
57, so he'd be... No. Yeah, 54, 57. My mum might be 57. He's in his 60s.
Wow. Where was he born?
Borough.
15?
Rough as toast, mate.
What the fuck even?
Yeah, I've got like hundreds of cousins that I've never met. You know what I mean?
No way.
Shitloads of them.
Where
mate,
was
yeah.
he in the line of it?
He was the last,
No.
the youngest. And the way he paints it, you know, your dad tells you stories and that about how good you've got it in comparison to how he had it.
We've all heard him.
He was fucking tortured, apparently. Like, he was the whipping boy. You know,
No.
you're doing this, you're doing that. His sisters tortured him. Eventually, that's what drove him to because he's pretty much one of the only successful ones out of our family.
Right.
One of the people that actually fucking made something of himself and done well. And he said that what drove him was his fucking sisters torturing him. Like, he had to get out. He moved to Birmingham when he was 16, my dad.
Did he?
Yeah, he looked off to Birmingham to do a joinery fucking whatever.
And then come back?
No, he didn't never come back. Well, he came back years and years later when he met my mum in his 20s, but he never went back home.
Right.
You know what I mean? In my entire existence, I've never seen my dad mixing with his side of the family.
Really?
In my entire life, mate.
None of his
Just
brothers,
wrote
sisters,
them all
none of
off.
them?
The way he paints it, they were just about his money. You know what I mean? Fuck all of you. I've made it. See you in a bit. Yeah.
Where's he from?
My dad?
Yeah.
He's from Borough.
Oh, is he from Borough?
Is your mum from Borough?
Yeah.
How did he meet your mum in Birmingham?
He didn't meet my mum in Birmingham. He met my mum in Stockton.
What, you just
He
came
met
back?
her in a pub and he was singing across to her. There was
No.
a song on the radio and he started like miming the words and
Yes.
Was he singing for
I
Jam?
was like, how the fuck did he pull you, mum? And she said to me, he had prospects.
That's a nice way of saying he had fuck all, but I believed in
No,
him.
actually, what it was he did have prospects. Like, he had a job, earning good money. Like,
I thought prospects meant like I could see something in the future.
yeah, exactly. Like, he had potential to make a life with.
Right.
Nothing to do with his smoothness, nothing to do with him singing across the fucking way. I laughed my cap off when I heard that
Sounds
story.
smooth,
Now
though.
then, Dad, what were you singing, son? Let's go.
What was-
Fuck off, Christmas.
What was it?
I can't remember.
Oh,
I feel like
mate.
Lady in Red or something like that.
Oh.
I've never seen you looking so lovely.
Yes!
Just across the boozer.
Wilson! I love that. Yes.
Some
Big
boy.
Bob in the
Punching
house.
way above his weight, me dad, like.
Was your mum a
With his-
lookalike?
Yeah, she
Let's leave
was.
that there.
She
We
was
shouldn't go
pretty.
down that route,
Very
should
pretty.
we?
She was pretty, yeah.
Was she?
But yeah, some of the stories I've heard about my dad's upbringing during that time, sort of 60s, mid 60s. Yeah, the way he paints it, was a hard time to be alive, you know.
Was it?
Made hard men. And that's what they say. I mean, like, those hard times create strong as fuck men, and
Okay.
those strong as fuck men then provide easy times, which create pussies like us that can't do fuck all with ourselves. You know what I mean? And it does kind of ring true. Which is, did you see that Russell Brand thing the other day actually about Russia and America 2024 war guaranteed happening?
I think guaranteed happening.
He's saying it's happening.
That's
There's
what
a
he
war
said.
coming in 2024, Russia, America. If that shit happens, oh dear me.
Do you know what? Going out on a limb, I can see it.
Yeah.
I can see it. Because, look, I daren't even get into that again. I don't know enough to make an argument where it's half decent.
No.
But I've heard enough
I can't
stuff.
talk on the subject with any sense.
What was that?
I was just trying to find this moment that he talks about it. Can't seem to find it as of yet.
It's on his Rumble account. It's actually titled Russia. It may have been 2-3 weeks ago he done it. Anyways, he's pretty convinced that there's a war coming next year. And if that is the case, mate, dear me.
Yeah.
Very, very worrying.
You know, half of me thinks, well, maybe this is a ploy that, you know, maybe this is a tactic, this Ukraine thing.
Yeah.
Maybe America are getting Russia to throw a load of troops to weaken them a little bit, you know, to like make the job easier. But then I'm pretty sure Russia have kept the best stuff hidden away.
I mean, Jesus Christ. Russia's military force is like
Vast.
so big.
Look, I'm going to say,
I mean-
right, just, I'm going to close chat because I don't even want to touch on this, but I don't feel as negative about Russia as I did a year ago.
No.
Because I've learned a few things, and I feel like kind of America might be fueling this a little bit.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Putin's a fantastic guy. You know,
No.
I'm not going to his birthday party, but I don't know. I think
I dare say he's a lot less corrupt than these American politicians that are in charge at the minute, man. You've got American people coming out and basically saying, respected people like Tucker Carlson will come out and say, America is behind this war. They blew the Keystone pipeline or the North,
Well, they did.
whatever pipeline it is that polluted the earth more than it's been polluted over 50 years. Some shit, the amount of pollution that came out of that pipe. No one's reporting on it.
No.
one's saying it out, you know what I mean?
It's kept your stum, that, innit?
It's all bent as a 9-bob bit, isn't it, mate? We're just being lied to. But yeah, I certainly wouldn't condemn Russia simply because the Western media tell you to condemn Russia. That doesn't add up to me.
No, it doesn't me either.
But yeah, I'm not an expert on the subject now. I wouldn't delve too deep into it because I don't know the ins and outs. And if someone who did know the ins and outs was conversing with me, they'd probably tie me in knots. But I feel like America have instigated it, and
I do.
for a particular reason. What that reason is, I'm sure it'll be discovered in time. But
Yeah, where we are now is, I'm sure you agree with this. Like, I'm the same as you. I spend pretty much all my outside of work time listening to people like this.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot of stuff in here. I'm just not smart enough to be able to bring it out my mouth.
Yeah, yeah.
I know more than I can say.
yeah,
And I think we're at a point in time where, like, this is a chapter in the story. It's going to be written, and we're just in the story
oh,
right
there's
now.
definitely more to come, mate.
There's more to come, isn't there?
Yeah, 100%.
What I would say is, because me and Chris aren't smart enough to be able to put it into, an articulate way, everybody just do a bit of research. Don't just listen to one side of the argument. Listen to multiple people. Listen to for, listen to against. Have the grace to, if you're on one side of a fence and you believe something, that's fine. We can all have a belief. But try to have the grace to at least listen to the other side and
Yeah.
think, could there be a point in that? Rather than just, that's nonsense. No, that's not true. Just listen.
Communist Russia, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, no. Just have a listen. Your side might be the right side.
Yeah.
But let's just all take the time to have a listen to both. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's certainly what I've been trying to do.
Yeah, I have done that. But my problem with it is, Dan, that all the mainstream stuff, I can't believe a word of what they say because they lied so much. They're just constantly filling you full of shit. How are you supposed to take anything they say seriously?
That's what it's getting
I just
to.
need to find a serious journalist who's going to tell me the truth. You know what I mean? And
Do you know what it's got to now, Chris?
yeah,
I don't know who to believe anymore. That's what it's got to. Go back a year, that's when my brain started to tick to say, hang on a minute, we're all getting blagged. It was only about a year ago that my head clicked that it's all a big thing. But that's now, I won't say it's done a 360, But the people who I initially jumped on the bandwagon with, I've now got that suspicious with everybody that like I don't know who to believe. Like I'm just confused. Like I think they're lying, so I want to listen to like Tucker Carlson, but then I'm like, but like what if he's full of shit too? Like I can't trust anybody.
I don't think he is, mate. I don't think he is full of shit. I mean, he's been taken off Fox for a reason, and he had the highest ratings in the entire fucking country. He was the most watched news show in the entire country, and they got rid of him. They got rid of him on the back of that January the 6th expose that he did, showing the coppers walking all the people around. You know, the guy with the horns. Have you seen that video? He's got his horns on. He's just been guided around the Capitol building, letting it rooms. But the way that they painted it was an insurrection, and they were all tearing through the place and doing this, that, and the other. And Tucker Carlson's totally like exposed that. What happens? They sack him. You know what I mean? Why have they sacked him, mate?
Well, you know, on the other side, Tucker Carlson will probably make more money now than he ever has. Right, you know, he'll take a cut.
He's got a show on Twitter now, hasn't he?
Yeah, he'll make more money, mate, in the long run, I'm sure. He was on a payroll before, do you know what I mean? Listen, I will go for a wee.
Yeah, I need to as well.
Yeah, you go first, Christoph. How was your piss, mate?
It was nice, actually, mate.
Yeah.
I broke the seal.
Where were we? What were we talking about?
I think we were on about the media and... we were on about the olden days, weren't we, versus the new days.
Well, he was on the telly. So
yeah, we were on about Carlson being a trustworthy source.
That was it.
I trust him. I don't think he's got an agenda. I genuinely don't. I think he wants the best for America. I think that's his genuine goal, is to bring to light corruption, dodginess, because he's done it with Trump as well. He's not like one-sided, Carlson. If Trump's done something wrong, he's pulled him on it.
You know,
I do trust him.
As far as having some credentials to what is going on behind the scenes, well, he's got some because he was in the scenes.
Yeah.
So he worked for the news and stuff like that. So he was in the circle.
100%.
So I suppose you have to take. You have to give a bit.
Anyone who gets ostracised, like he has been. I know, I sound like Brandon.
What's that mean?
Ostracised means that you're shunned from the rest of the... So if in the office you were to move people around and one person had to sit on their own away from everybody else, they would be ostracised, you know what I mean?
Like isolation.
That kind of thing. Like isolation, yeah.
I've been in the base at school.
Like... If a footballer gets told he has to train with the kids, he's been ostracised from the group, that kind of thing.
Naughty step.
And he has been ostracised. He's no longer on any mainstream platform. He's got his own show on Twitter, and you got to wonder why that happened, particularly given the fact that he's getting the best ratings in the US. He was the number one news show in America. Why would they sack him? Because he's saying things they don't fucking like, mate. Simple as that. You know what I mean?
It's the way it seems.
It's just the way it is, mate. Same with Trump, same with Tate, same with Brand. They're saying shit that the powers that be, that we don't know about, that we can't see, the hidden behind the curtain people, don't like what they're saying, so get rid of them.
You're a Trump fan, right?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a massive Trump fan, actually. I think the world would be a much better place if he was still in charge of America.
You think?
Yeah.
Tell me things that you feel... No, let me rephrase that. Why is he good for the world?
Well, he's not part of the system, which is why they don't like him and why they don't want him to run for president. He wants people to prosper. Because he believes that if people prosper, the world's a better place. So if everyone's in employment, everyone's earning good money, fuel prices are low, everything's better, which is right. But there's another side of politics where they don't want that. They want us to struggle. They want us in that struggle. They want to make life as hard as possible. These billionaires around the world, they could solve 90% of the world's problems by putting money into it. They won't do that. They don't want to solve the problems. Like, things like charity, Dan. Charity is the biggest scam ever. Like, tiny percentages of money that goes into charity go to the actual... The people who need it, you know what I mean?
I've heard of this.
It's like, I wouldn't dare give my money to charity. It's going to some fat cat at the top, most of it. 90 pence of your pound will go to the fat cat and 10 pence will go to the kids or starving Africans or whatever. It's all just one massive con, mate. And I won't say what I wasn't going to say next because that's naughty as fuck. But yeah, I've got my opinions on it. Put it that way, of the people that are in charge and who they are. I've got a very firm opinion on who is making the world worse. Really? I won't say it. I think your viewers will probably be able to guess which group of people I'm aiming this at. But
yeah. It's
a fucking horrible world we live in, mate. It really is.
You know that thing you just said? I'm interested. You said it. How did you say it? That they want us poor. They want us in hard times. Why do you feel? Because I don't know about this.
Because people who are struggling, mate, people who are having a hard time have got less inclination to complain about systems or what's in place. They're too busy getting through fucking life, mate.
I get
Life's that hard. Why am I going to complain about politics? I'm trying to get through the fucking day.
Trying to survive.
Trying to put food on the table.
Yeah.
The poorer we are, the harder our life is, the more in line we'll be. Little workarounds, do as they're fucking told. Because life's hard enough. You know what I mean? Life's easy. Everything's really gravy, and a politician starts doing something dodgy. If you're in a good position in life and you've got no worries, you're going to be a lot more inclined to say, hang on, what the fuck's this? You know what I mean? Whereas if you're on the breadline, mate, all you're worrying about is your next meal, feeding the kids, keeping a roof over your head. You haven't got time for the bigger problems in the world, and that's what they want.
I mean, it's true. You know, in a much smaller scale.
Yeah.
Do you remember you and I both lived literally hard up once?
Yeah.
Like, I've lived hard up before.
Yeah, I would say I have, in the 80s.
And, well, not even 80s, as a young adult, where I was...
I've definitely had hard times as an adult.
Looking for it was literally money day by day.
Yeah.
How do I get enough money today to get through today? I didn't give the world a thought. I didn't think about anything else.
No, all you thought about was yourself and your own survival.
Literally, there is a section of time, a few 4 or 5 years' time, where I don't know anything that went on in the world.
Yeah.
All I can remember is waking up and how do I get to tonight with the things I want. And then it was sleep and then go again and then again.
Exactly.
And it's true. You don't think about anything else.
No.
Now, granted, we ain't rich, but we're not hungry. There's food in our fridge.
Yeah.
We've got a few tenors in our pocket.
You got time to question shit.
Yeah.
To look at what's going on and say, hang on, this isn't right. That's not right. But as I say, people on the breadline, they're not even thinking about that kind of stuff.
Here's the thing. You know the alien thing, right?
Aliens, yeah.
Aliens and that, right? Right. Because my head's gone fucking... Like, you know what I told you about? I don't trust anybody anymore.
Yes.
Like, I don't know who to fucking believe anymore. Right. So, here's the thing, right? I started to believe that there was aliens, right? Through watching all them documentaries online. And I'm thinking, yeah, the governments are hiding it from us. They don't want us to know. Like bastards. You know, why don't you just tell us, right? Stuff's happened. Area 51, all that shit.
Well, there's been some classified documents that have been unclassified. You know what I mean?
I put it to you, sir. Somebody made a point the other day online, and I thought, oh my fucking God. Why is the American government now admitting to stuff, telling us stuff, right?
To take your mind off big picture stuff.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's what I'm
100%.
thinking. Now my brain can't decide. Is there aliens that are letting us know?
How many weeks ago was it? There was a bag of coke found in the White House.
Yeah.
Been swept under the carpet.
That was Biden's kids.
Yeah, Hunter Biden.
Like, he was
sniffing
there.
coke on the fucking lawn of the White House. Go on.
Like, when you actually look at the thing, like someone said, they've checked the records, you know, because they have to do, like, who entered the White House.
Yeah. He
was
You have
there.
to sign in and
like, he
shit.
was there.
He was on the
That's
premises.
thing. He was on the premises. Like, it could be a coincidence.
Hunter.
It could be a coincidence.
He's a fucking Wilson, isn't he?
Man's a
He
bad
doesn't
man, isn't he?
give a fuck.
Have you seen what he's doing?
Fucking emails we need 10% for the big man. Not like fucking stitching your dad up. It's
Mate, he
like,
lives a life in, by the way.
Oh, mate, he's a fucking
Have you seen
absolute
this stuff?
coke fucking badger.
Have you seen the stuff he's
Loads,
been up
loads
to?
of hooers, naked as fuck, like crack pipes in his mouth.
In the car, speeding. Mate, he's a beast,
no
mate.
one gives a fuck though, mate, because they always push a new story the next day, and it's all swept and forgotten about. But things like I'm a bit out there, me. I believe aliens live amongst us, mate.
Do you?
I do, yeah. I genuinely believe
In
that.
what form?
In human form.
What? What do you mean? What do you mean?
I mean, you got to imagine if there's aliens on the planet, yeah?
Yeah.
They're capable of some shit that we have no clue about.
Okay. Hold on. Right. Hang on. Let's just get in this, right?
So I've got a theory about aliens, yeah?
Okay.
Now, dinosaurs lived on the fucking earth for millions of years, mate. Millions. It's out there, this theory, and I'm not saying it's gospel, I'm not saying it's 100%, but it wouldn't surprise me, bro. Listen, dinosaurs were on the planet a fucking long time, a lot longer than human beings. So, let's say through the evolutionary process, who's to say that there wasn't a species of dinosaur that is so advanced that they could have got off the planet before this fucking comet thing hit and wiped out the rest of the cow dinosaurs and the we've got cows, pigs, fucking whatever we've got, all the animals in the world.
Talking about a futuristic saw.
I'm talking about a fucking higher level of fucking dinosaur that we have no clue about. Got off the planet, observed the planet, waited for the opportunity to come back, came back, took over, all the best, season a bit.
What?
Walk about like humans, shape-shifting.
No.
Morphing and mate.
No.
I'm telling you.
Do you think you know any?
Aliens.
Jed Brogan, wasn't it?
I had a teacher once. She was a bit sus. Mrs. Green. Mrs. Greenway, actually.
Jared Brogan of WebWorks Internet. He was an alien.
Could be an alien.
He could be an alien.
But you'd imagine that if there were to be aliens, they'd be a lot more successful than Jed.
Yeah. Maybe that's just undercover, though. Elon's an alien.
Oh, I mean, he's so fucking weird, isn't he?
He's
a weird guy.
I love that, though. Dinosaurs.
But he's come out and, like, the aliens definitely exist. You know what I mean? They could be living amongst us. He's said all this. It's not just like I've made it up off the top of my head, but
he's come out.
Elon Musk says I am an alien.
To the contrary, though, he's said that obviously he runs a space company, right?
Yeah.
So he's got quite a good window into that.
Yeah.
And he says, like, I ain't never seen that.
No.
That's what he's saying. I never heard or seen
I've
anything.
never seen anything.
No, but I mean, we don't go anywhere. He does.
But how long have human beings been on the earth?
Ages.
I think. Well, you're only talking what 250, 300,000 years. I'm not entirely sure when the human race first kicked in, but we haven't been on the planet anywhere near the amount of time that dinosaurs were on the planet, mate.
No.
And we've evolved to this.
Mm-hmm.
So who's to say that dinosaurs didn't evolve far further than we did, and we just don't know because they were so advanced? We haven't got a clue. There's actually a film about this, really good film about a group of human beings that escape the Earth. And they live in space. I can't remember what it was called.
It's the Jetsons, mate.
It was a good film. It wasn't the Jetsons.
It's the Jetsons, mate.
But anyway, fucking hell, it's too complicated to explain. But yes, I believe in aliens, and I wouldn't be surprised if they are amongst us at all.
Well, here's the thing. You know, aliens. Obviously, we have the picture of the guy with the like triangle-shaped head, the big eyes.
Yeah.
Like, what's to say they're not invisible? Like, if they
Yeah.
are beings that we don't know, we can't see them. Why do you can't see
100%,
them?
mate.
Could be one stood here now. Alf, just stood here now, laughing at us like that.
I like Alf. I wouldn't mind an Alf kicking about me. I'd be happy with that.
Marvin the Martian was my
But yeah,
favourite.
I mean, Marvin the Martian.
Remember?
You ever see Mac and Me?
Nah.
No.
Who's Mac and Me?
MAC and Me.
Mac and Me? What is alien? Is he?
Cute little alien, man.
Is he?
Yeah. It's a film back in the 90s.
Mac and Me.
Mac and Me, mate. Yeah. Class alien movie. Look at his face.
What? I've seen this. No way.
If aliens look like that, they're welcome. Come on down.
Do you know, I'm going to say this, right? Am I the only person that when you watched E.T. when you were a kid, you were terrified?
Yeah,
No,
I was
wasn't
sketched out, like,
terrified.
E.T.
I
terrified for
was
years,
so,
man.
like, in love with E.T.
No,
I had my
mate.
little E.T. like cuddly toy, and I went on the E.T. ride in America. You know,
Yeah,
you're
I've
going
been
on
on
the
that
bike
ride,
and past the
yeah.
moon and stuff.
That was quite magical.
Oh,
I've been
very,
on that,
very,
yeah.
very
Yeah,
magical.
E.T.'s
yeah.
one of my favourite rides.
I mean,
in
look at
America.
him wrapped up in his thing in the bike, in
No,
his
mate.
towel.
I'll tell you what it is, right?
I'll tell you what, my dad, first time we watched E.T., my dad cried like a baby. You know, when E.T. dies, he goes all white and that, and you can see his red heart coming through. My dad's broke into tears. My mum's like, "Are you crying, Bob?"
I'll tell you this now, right? Yes, we can all cry, sad film and all that. I'm going to tell you something. If it was the middle of the night, right?
Oh, yeah, shit a brick.
And that little bastard, right? And him there came running out my wardrobe with his fucking pointy finger, right?
Started fucking with
Mate,
my ornaments and that, making them spin in the air.
I would beat him to death. I'm telling you, I would storm
You wouldn't
his
even ask
head.
a question, bro,
Not
no?
even a question, mate. I would beat him to death.
I mean, first of all, I'd shit a brick. I definitely wouldn't beat him to death.
You would, mate.
I wouldn't.
You would,
I wouldn't
mate.
be capable, mate.
He's coming towards you, giving it.
fuck me up, mate.
E.T.
E.T.
Mate.
stick the fucking nut on me with his long giraffe,
Mate,
mate.
but he's got no neck muscles,
he put
mate.
me down, him, mate.
Mate, he's in a
He'd
horrendous
touch
shape.
me with his little red finger, I'd be over, mate.
Mate, he's in a horrendous shape. He's in a horrendous shape.
As soon as
mate.
you heard him talking, you definitely wouldn't beat him up. E.T. go home. E.T. Fun home, fun home.
No, do you know that thing, the scene before they find out who he is, when it's the beginning? Obviously, they become friends with him and shit.
Yeah.
But like at the beginning of the film, when he first lands, he's in wardrobes and shit, and like
No,
there's
he's in the
rustling,
back garden.
and they're throwing
And
M&Ms.
They're giving him
and
the
that.
M&Ms or the
Mate,
Skittles
that
or
was
something.
terrifying. That's
That little hand comes out and
mate,
grabs
that's
it.
awful, mate. That's your worst dream come true.
Oh, I don't know. I think when I was a kid, I wasn't that
No,
inclined
man.
to be scared. I remember watching Terminator 2 and my sister was terrified, and I was like, this is fucking mint, this.
Terminator 2.
Terminator 2 was one of the first like 18s that I was ever allowed to watch. I think it came out about 92, 93, and it was a really scary film. But I wasn't scared. I was like, come on, this is brilliant.
What's the favourite? No. What's the scariest movie you've ever watched?
Oh dear, scariest.
I'm going to jump straight in. Paranormal Activity. Horrible.
Oh, it is.
Horrible. You seen it, Southpaw?
Yeah.
No.
Awful, yeah.
Awful,
I
mate.
agree.
Awful.
I know, I wouldn't
Oh,
say it's the
dear me.
scariest one I've ever seen.
Dear me. Horrendous, mate.
I've seen some scary as fuck films, but
It's
just-
not as bad as that.
I don't like the fact that
The
you
Conjuring
can't
I
see
found
him.
was very, very, you jump out your skin. They'd set up the scene so that you would jump out your skin. Quite scary, that one.
They don't make them as
There's
good
not many
anymore.
good horror movies kicking about these days.
I'm going to say now, you might laugh. Annabelle scared me. The first time I watched Annabelle.
So fucking lootly, man.
It was horrible, wasn't it?
Carrie. You ever seen Carrie?
The original.
That's a haunting movie. That like
Very.
She has her first period.
Oh,
it's
God.
just fucking grim. There's another one as well. There's a film, right? I can't remember what it's called, but you'll remember it, Dan. They're playing ice hockey at the start of the film. The Omen. Oh my!
Oh, bring it back to me.
So he's playing ice hockey and he falls in the ice. And he's trapped under the ice, this little kid, and they're trying to save him.
He
And
goes in the
they
water?
can't- Yeah, he's under the ice as well. You know, he's been... Yeah, so fuck... That shit is terrifying. Like, back in the 70s, they used to make really disturbing, scary shit. Like Psycho, stuff like that, you know, Norman Bates, The Bates Motel, that kind of shit.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Dear
Have you
me.
seen that original, by the way?
Got through about 15, 20 minutes of it, mate, I'd turn it off.
I'll tell you what, right? That after watching that, you don't ever want to go to America again, do you? Because do you know what? To me,
He was a real person, wasn't he?
yeah, it really happened. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. For me, this is what the sticks of America is.
Yeah.
Like if you go into the bit where the people aren't, because it's a big, vast country. You know them like
Yeah.
you know where you get them like them things. Go back Southpaw. These look. These.
Yeah.
You know them things.
You've gone too far. You need to retreat.
Mate, I'm telling you what, the other day I was driving to Edinburgh and I seen one of these and that's the first thing I thought of.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah. Listen, I'm going to say it as it is. This, I believe there's parts of America where this shit's still there.
Oh,
Like,
100%.
can you imagine being in a car going on a road trip and you broke down next to them cornfields and shit? You know, them big...
Hills have eyes type shit.
Oh, mate.
Oh, dear.
I'd just
No.
kill me now.
Those people exist.
They
100%.
exist, mate.
No doubt about it.
Yeah. It was based on true events to attract a wider audience. You know, it says based on real events. What were the real events? Was there really a guy that took people's skin in that, called him Leatherface? You've seen it, Southpaw?
No, I haven't seen this one.
Oh, fam. Yeah, this is awful.
That Amityville Horror with Ryan Reynolds is scary as well.
I've never seen that.
He plays a really good scary character. He turns psycho him.
Ryan Reynolds?
In
Guy that owns Wrexham?
yeah,
He's a funny guy.
Yeah, not in this. He's not.
What's his-
He's a
what's that?
Amityville Horror. He's a stepdad. Or he might even just be the dad. I'm not sure, but I feel like he's the stepdad in the scenario, and they move into this house, and the house takes him over, and he turns into a fucking really scary guy, like a psychopath.
True story.
The Amityville Horror is a true story, yeah. So's The Conjuring.
Hang on.
Conjuring's about real events.
Isn't the Amityville Horror an old film? Have they redone it with Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah, it is an old film, and they're redone it with Ryan Reynolds, yeah.
Oh, I would want to watch the original, to be fair.
It's not as good as the one with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I can't
The
imagine.
Ryan
I can't
Reynolds
imagine him
one's
in a horror though.
He's
I can't.
brilliant in it.
Is
mate. He's super. I mean, look at him there. Look at him on that photo on the right hand side. He looks
Yeah.
like he loses his mind, and he's a very convincing psychopath.
He got some build on him.
Oh, he's ripped, isn't he? Imagine being Ryan Reynolds.
Roids much.
Is that what it is?
Well, aye. Size of him.
Can't get like that normally, no?
Well,
Or natural.
You could, but I doubt it. He's had some help, I think.
Apparently there's some secret diet all the celebs go on in that.
Yeah.
Like to get themselves ripped. Hugh Jackman and that, they all do it.
Just testosterone, mate.
Is that what it is?
Testosterone and personal
Bit of
trainers'
de-
diets.
bit of Tess.
Bit of Tess. You know, there's all kinds of stuff you can go
I always
on.
used to hear the words sus and deck. What are
Yeah.
they? What are those
I
words?
don't know. Basically, things like that.
He's
I
on the
think.
sus and deck.
Yeah, things that you take with it, I think. I don't know. But yeah, scary films like, yeah, mate, fuck that Texas Chainsaw Massacre stuff. That's just death. That's just the worst thing ever.
Yeah, terrifying.
Some mush chasing
I remember
you.
when we were in America. In America, there's loads of like little fairs. So you can be driving down the road and there'll be a fair there. There'll be a fair there. They've got a bungee jump. They've got a few roller coasters. This, that, the other. We go into this one fair and there's a haunted house. And me and me two sisters, I'm 16. My little sister's 14. I made Laura 6. They're there at 6'5". So anyway, we'll go walking through this haunted house. And there's like tight corridors and that. There's banging on the walls, shitting yourself. And anyway, this guy comes out of a door. Big fucking guy, over 6 foot, fat, face painted white, got a big fucking kitchen knife in his hand. And he's in our way in the corridor. Like, we can't get past him. We've got nowhere to go. And my sisters are fucking shitting themselves, mate. Like, Laura's beside herself. I'm like, Howie, mate, it's gone too far, this, let us past. He just stayed in character. Just looking at us, doing this with his knife and that. Right, get the fuck out of my way, barge past him. Got out. And I went back with my dad. Like, I was only 15, 16. I'm going back, I'm kicking off. This man, like, it was the most scared I've ever been, mate. I thought we were going to die in there. Like, we're in America. These fuckers are psychos, you know what I mean? It's
Wow.
like fucking waving his little knife in front of me with his eyes wide open. Like, shit. Holy shit, man.
Yeah.
Scary as.
Do you know, in America, though, like, not saying, you know, I'm not going against America here, but you can, you know, that's a place where shit's going to go on. Isn't there a movie? There is, with a clown, where this sort of happens. There is. I've seen it. There's a horror movie where basically exactly what you've just said, or something similar, happens. Where it's a fun fair, blah, blah, blah. It's a pretend...
It.
No. It's a pretend, like, haunted house type thing.
Yeah.
But she gets real. You know, there's a clown, and the clown, like, fucks them all up.
Yeah.
Like, and everyone thinks it's still part of the game, but it's not. No, mate, I don't know what... You'll never find it. Something to do with... It could be Carnival. I don't know. Some shit happens, though. I've seen a film, basically, that's just like what you've just
I
said.
do like horror movies, though. I like feeling scared, me.
I ain't watching
It's
them
just
on
that
my own.
you don't often find a film that'll get you scared these days. It's like all predictable, in it? Very...
I mean, we talked about this before. I think there was there's been points in time where horror movies are really good.
Yeah.
And I think we're in a period in time where they're all shite.
Yeah.
But, you know, around the time Paranormal Activity was getting made, Conjuring, Annabelle, there was about 30 of them that were made. I think they're about 10 years ago, and like 10 to 15 years ago around there,
Yeah.
like 2010, 2011, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That block of time, there seems to have been like a big amount of
Push
good
on horror films.
Yeah. Who's the director?
Scream, all that, carry on.
Who's the director or producer of Paranormal Activity? I'd recognise his name when I seen it. I think there's a guy that makes a lot of good horror films.
He's not famous as the guy who made Paranormal Activity. It was like a camcorder thing, wasn't it? It was like almost a documentary style film, wasn't it?
Okay, maybe
Like,
not him then.
Oren Pelly. He's the one who directed.
Let me see it on the screen, mate, so I can see his name. Could we make it any bigger, boss?
There's quite a few directors there, Paranormal Activity.
No, it was like a foreign name.
Oren Pelly doesn't get much foreigner than that, mate.
No, it doesn't really, does it? That wasn't him, though. Who made The Conjuring? Let me have a look.
James Wan.
Nah, fuck knows. God knows. I don't know. But I feel like there's a guy. He's a good guy. Is it Annabelle, maybe?
You know about Shyamalan?
Who's that?
Shyamalan, done Sixth Sense, A couple of others. Night Shyamalan, I think it's called.
Yeah.
He's done a few.
Could be him. What else he done? He's quite young though.
Go on to his wiki, mate.
53. Have a look
I'm
at his
going down to
films.
his filmography.
Filmography in that.
Filmography's in there.
I don't recognise any of these. No.
Sixth Sense. Bruce Willis. Ghosts. I see ghosts. I see dead people. The Village, that's a scary one. Signs, quite scary. Well,
I never
Kinda.
seen The Sixth Sense.
you never did.
Nah. Never.
So you don't even know the plot or anything.
Well, he sees dead people. And
Yeah,
Bruce Willis
but
was in it.
Yeah, but Bruce Willis was dead the entire time. That's the spin on the film. Like Bruce
Does
Willis.
the kid know he's dead?
Yeah, because the kid knows that he's seeing a ghost. Bruce Willis doesn't know he's dead though.
What?
Bruce Willis doesn't know he's dead. He's gone about his normal life. Thinks he's living, and eventually he susses out, "Holy shit, I'm dead. I got stabbed."
I'll come back to you on that director, but he's not the director I'm thinking of.
No.
No, I don't think so. No. Yeah, it's been, it's a good film though, isn't it?
The Sixth Sense.
I've heard it's a good film.
Yeah, it is.
Never
Really
watched it
good.
though. No.
Yeah, big twist. That's what he's known for, isn't he? That Shyamalan. He always has a twist. Like there's something at the end of the movie that's, oh shit, didn't see that coming.
Apart from The Sixth Sense, though, what else he done? That's scary.
Well, he just had the list up there. Signs. There's another one. Can't remember. He's done loads of films, though, mate. I don't think he's essentially a horror movie guy. He's like a
I've seen Indiana Jones in that. Wrote on that
Indiana
list.
Jones.
That's what I seen wrote in that list.
He might have done the new one, Unbreakable.
Unbreakable's a good film. You seen that?
Really good.
Harry Potter.
He was
That was
linked.
terrifying as
Yeah.
well.
No, he was linked with
There's
the
a couple of
2001.
Harry Potters that oh dear.
You're a big
Sequel.
advocate of Harry Potter, aren't you?
Harry Potter's class, mate.
I tried,
Did ya?
Because I missed them all. I told you a few months back.
Yeah.
I thought, right, I'm going to give I'm not, everybody says it's great. I'm sure it is.
Yeah, it is.
So I started from the beginning.
Yeah.
I got so far through the first one, I thought, this is Bruce Lethal. This is terrible. This is terrible. It's horrible watching.
Yeah.
I
mean,
can't waste my day watching this.
Oh, you see, I grew up on them. Oh, a massive part of my
I
upbringing.
can't get away with them. It's
Yeah,
just
I
too
think-
hocus pocus magic.
If you sat down with a kid, you'd probably enjoy it. You know.
Yeah, it's magical for a child watching that. Like,
You know what I find? Unless I can relate it in some way to something that's possible or it is real, I can't get away with it. Same with horror films. So I find the horror films that my brain can some way make a case for that this could be real. I dig them and I shit myself.
Yeah.
You show me a horror film with some monster.
Yeah.
No, mate.
You lose interest, don't you?
No, mate.
The Blob, shit like that.
Same as, have you ever watched A Quiet Place? Great movie. A Quiet Place.
Quiet Place is brilliant up until the point where you see the monsters and you're like, this
Yeah,
is shit.
yeah, this
Same
is-
with what's that one where they're driving down the road? Courtesy, he's like a crow. It's like a fucking
I
mad.
know what you mean.
What's Jeepers Creepers?
Jeepers Creepers.
Jeepers Creepers is the most terrifying film I've ever seen. Up until the point where you see the guy. As soon as you see the guy, like,
Yeah.
that's a bit disappointing.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's not going to
Although
happen.
he's a scary looking motherfucker, but yeah, it's like
Oh, he's rough looking, like.
up until the point where when you don't see him, he's more scarier than when you do eventually.
I
If
think
that's
a lot
Kruger.
of the time that is the case, isn't it?
Yeah. What you don't see is the scariest
Yeah,
part.
less is more a lot of the time.
Yeah, that's why Paranormal Activity was so good. It's like
Yeah.
you don't see anything, do you?
Yeah.
Apart from women being dragged out of the beds by nothing and shit like that. It's just,
Mind you, the original Alien was pretty good.
oh, brilliant, yeah.
And that was monstery. But I'm buying that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that was a horror movie, though.
Terrifying, though. You not think?
'Cause that's sci-fi, isn't it? But yeah, very scary. The aliens were 100% very fucking scary.
Awful. Yeah, you wouldn't want to...
What you
You
gonna
wouldn't
do?
fancy your chances, would you?
You're going to do
Nah,
against that?
Not a lot, mate. Except defeat.
Yeah, same here. Like, all right then, fair dues. To make it quick.
Yeah.
Innit? Yeah. You're not negotiating with him
Don't
either, are you?
drool on me, will you, bro? Just put me out my
I
misery.
know, yeah.
Go for the head.
Yeah, he's got some head on him. Beats my head, that. Yeah. Yeah, scary films that you can feel something relating to possible, they get me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying that. I like Annabelle. You know, I haven't seen no dolls move.
Like Scream. Scream was terrifying.
Scream was really
First
good.
time I watched Scream, holy shit, jumped out my skin.
I'll tell you something that happened to me the first time I watched Scream.
Yeah.
Right? It was excellent, to be honest. Like,
Brilliant.
let me paint you a picture. How long are we in Southpaw?
150.
I'm going to paint you a picture and then we're going to end it just after this,
Yeah, go on.
right? So listen to this. What I'm about to tell you happened. Scream had just came out. Scream 1. So I must have-
1995.
Yeah. I don't think it was 95. It was
Don't
after
you?
that. No. When did Scream 1 come out? Because I was in comprehensive school when it came out.
Yeah, so
And
you've
I
been
start-
about 12, 11.
Well, I was born in 85, so it must have been 97.
96, 97 then maybe.
I think it was 97.
Or maybe you've seen it then. Maybe it came out on video.
When did Scream 1 come out, Southpaw?
Scream came out in 1997.
So,
Boy.
what happened is it wasn't cinema time. So picture the scene. Normally somebody gets it on DVD or video.
Yeah.
Might have been videos then, to be fair.
Yeah, it was.
So I was in year 7 or year 8, right? And it was circulating. Was it a 15? The film.
I feel like it was, yeah.
Yeah, it was 15.
So this is right. This is ringing true, right? So picture the scene. I'm a year 7 or a year 8 in a group of young lads,
Yeah.
right? One of the lads that I knocked about with had the film. We weren't old enough to go watch it at the cinema. Some of the older people who we knew from years above had seen this movie. Whether they'd seen it on DVD or in the cinema, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? But it was a big deal. It was a Friday night. It was a big deal. We were getting litres of cider and we were going to watch Scream, right?
Sounds mint.
So picture this. Yeah, it was good old days, right? I mean, it was hell. You know, complete bullying and all kinds of peer pressure and torture that was being 12-year-old. But let's put that aside for 1 second. So all we going in this lad's house, right? I can still remember it now. We're all sat in this house. There must have been about 8 of us, all these young kids, young lads, and we watched Scream 1. It was dark outside. Terrifying film,
Yeah.
right? Terrified. Watched it. Now, what we'd done is the lad's house where we were, obviously we couldn't let their parents know we were drinking because we were too young. So across the road, there was the woods, and we'd all hidden our drink in carrier bags there. So the plan was we were going to watch Scream, then we were going to all go out and drink our litres of cider afterwards, right? Watch the film, went out, pitch black, great, everyone's excited, went to the woods to get the drink, right? And what came flying out of the woods was Scream in a Scream mask. Full outfit, right? I can't tell you the feeling of ice cold to your core fear where you can't scream or run. You just...
Yeah, frozen.
Literally, people... that's all that happened.
Took your breath away like you just got into ice cold water.
And he ran at us like he
Fuck
ran at us. And what it was one of the older lads had the mask and it'd been a big ploy. They knew that what we were doing that night, and they were waiting for us in the bushes.
Yeah.
That really happened, and that would
shit you up.
Oh, mate.
And my cousin played a similar
cider.
prank on me. I slept downstairs. So we had a garage adjoining to the house. And when my sister came, my little sister, he converted the garage into a bedroom for me. So I slept downstairs.
Right.
And my cousin, around Scream time, started knocking on my window. My blinds are closed. Started knocking on my window. Go up my window. No fucker there.
Oh no!
Go back into bed. Knock again. What the fuck? Shitting myself at this point. Open it and there he is, stood with the Scream mask on. But he had the head tilt. He was like... I'm like... Mom! Like 16-year-old. Mom!
Oh no!
Jonathan, because he just pulled the mask.
Do you know what? I was going to say you were wetty when you were a kid, but if that happened to now, I'd still be going, Mom! Yep.
Messenger!
Oh no. Scary, right?
Yeah, fucking terrifying.
Scary.
Mate. Yeah, my heart skipped a beat. Shit myself.
Yeah, Scream. Great film, but very
Brilliant.
real. Very
Yeah, yeah.
real. You
Could
think
actually
that
happen.
could definitely happen.
Yeah. That
Definitely.
first scene where she's making the popcorn and she's got the big French windows, like everything, and her boyfriend's out there tied up, and like he's like, "Do you want to die tonight?" No.
You'd make a good scream, actually.
I would. I'd be
wouldn't
very
you?
good at that shit, me.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
Well, listen, that's going to be the end of that. I've enjoyed this, Chris.
Yeah, it's good crack, that, mate.
First guest we've had. First guest
Thank
returned.
you for having me, mate.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
As
Pleasure.
ever. People like us and that.
Yeah,
What
man.
do you have to say yourself? Do you have to say like, follow, and subscribe and all that shit?
If you want
What are you supposed to
mate.
say? How do you make
Yeah.
people? Can
Yeah.
somebody pay us money?
Hit the like button.
That's what it's all about, innit? Can some-
Comment, all that carry
yeah,
on.
pay us. We'll say anything.
Make us millionaires.
Yeah, yeah.
please.
Listen, if you've we'll say anything for money. So we will, or won't we? That's what it's about.
Yeah,
innit?
100%.
Yeah,
mate.
listen, we
I'll
want
sell my soul, mate.
we want to quit our jobs and do this. So please offer us anything. We'll advertise your product. We'll do it. We'll say whatever you want us to say. Whatever. We don't care. Terrorism's
I'll
anybody.
be pro Joe Biden if
Pro
helps.
Joe Biden, Al Qaeda, anybody, just get in touch. Get in touch. We're open. We're open. I'm not saying we will. I'm saying we'll hear people out. We just said both sides of the argument, right,
Yeah,
boys?
man, you've got to look at
Listen,
both
there's,
sides,
There's
bro.
no wrong. It's just two ways of looking at it.
Right.
So
It's just a sense of perspective, isn't it, Dan? That's all
yeah,
it is.
it's just,
mate.
you're not friends, mate. Do you know what I mean? Nothing like that, mate. It's 2023.
It's all about perspective.
So it's Southpaw at officialpeoplelikeus.com. Is that right, Southpaw?
That's .com.
When he opens his emails.
Oh, we've got a website, have we?
We've got emails.
Emails.
Have
Yeah,
Southpaw.
inquiries will be linked below.
There we go. And that's the end of People Like Us, Chris.
Thank
Loved
you.
it, mate. Now
Yeah.
we're going for a proper weird Indian.
Go and have an Indian, mate. I'm looking forward to this.
God bless.